I'm Paul Bennett at Downeast Thunder Creations here in Millbridge, Maine, right along the Bold Coast. And this video is about making a gaff. This is a gaff that I made about 30 years ago, and it's nothing special. And this isn't a traditional gaff that I would use on a boat. This was something I built in my old wooden boat shop for reaching and not hard to get places and grab something with the hook. And this shaft is about maybe 4 feet long, and it's only 3/4 inch by 3/4 of an inch in cross section. It could be larger, yeah, it doesn't matter. This is just a little hook to grab something, but the hook, this is store-bought. This was from a marine supply center, and so you'd make a traditional gaff for hooking fish off the side of the boat. And I had this in my wooden boat shop, and I just took this hook and I just stuck it on this stick, and I put some whipping around it to hold it in place, and it's held up for over 30 years, and it works great in the shop. Whenever I need something, I need to grab something and pull it towards me, that little hook, or something's on the ground, I can reach down, grab a hold of it and pick it up if it has a handle on it or something I can get a hold of. So this is a very handy tool to have in your shop, and you don't have to have a boat shop. This works great in any kind of workshop at all, or even around the house. There are a lot of good uses for it. Even around the yard when you're picking things up. So without having to bend over, and if you're an old fart like me, you really don't want to kill your back bending over, down to the ground. So having a little handy tool like this comes in handy. So this one here, after 30 years, I didn't put any shellac or anything on the whipping, which I should have, but I was just in a hurry. Never got back to it, and so now that cord is starting to come apart and unravel, but I can fix it. I can just trim that, put a coating on it, and it's probably good for another 30 years. I'll show you how to make one. What I'm going to do, materials, I have another piece. Now, that stick that I used was about 4 feet long, and I found this in my scrap bin. It's just another, very similar in cross section. It's a little bit wider on one side, so I'm not going to trim it. That's fine, just the way it is. And I have, this is, would go on pegboard. It's one of these little things that extends out on a pegboard where you hang things off it. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to make a hook because I don't have another store-bought one, and why buy one if I can make one inexpensively? I'm going to show you how I do that. And I have some cord. This is fishing line. It's a ground cord or a gangin for making tub trawls, and this will work just fine. You can use heavy-duty thread. You could use any kind of nylon. Fishing line works well. Not the monofilament kind that you can see through, but the solid like this. But anything like that. You could use some kind of twine. It'll work fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the hook. I'll bend it to shape. I will drill a hole because I'm going to make a little bend where the hook fits in it, and that keeps the hook from sliding. See? And then I'll just put a whipping around it, and I'll seal it, and we're good to go. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how I did it, and if you want a set of plans, I'll put a drawing available for free, and you can adjust the dimensions to however, whatever size, however you want to make it. And the size of the hook isn't going to matter much. This is a little bit thin, but this is not for heavy duty use. You could use, if I had some 1/4 inch rod, I might use that, which is thicker than the hook that I bought from the store, and this is slightly thinner. It doesn't really matter. Use whatever you have. And so on with the video. Please subscribe, like or don't like, I don't care, but do something. And in addition to subscribing, please share my videos. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. So I take a piece of line and I make a loop like this. And I'm just going to hold it in my hand. And I want the loop to extend beyond where I'm going to be doing my wrapping. Doing the whipping, I should say. And I want to get a good tight wrap initially. Get things started. Usually I go a lot faster than this, but I'm trying to do it in such a way that you can see it on the camera. I don't want to keep blocking it with my hands. Maybe if I do it this way. You see I keep that loop. And every now and then I have to push the cords together. You want to try to keep things fairly well aligned. That hook has to come over a little bit. Okay, I have it almost to the end, not quite. When I come around, I'm going to take the excess, I'm going to put it through the loop. You can see, I want to put it through that loop. Now what I'm going to do, I'm still holding it so it stays tight. I'm going to take this short end here and pull her through. That got loose on me, I can tighten that up. Now I'm going to pull her in, that draws that line inside tight, like so. And now I can trim off the excess. And I could just leave it like this. I could leave it just as you see it. But as you can see, what happened here, I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some sort of coating. It could be varnish. Spa varnish is on there, that's a good one. Any kind of polyurethane, you could use shellac. Well, I found some old spa varnish that's well beyond its usable lifespan, and a lot of it's hardened over, but there's enough in the bottom to do this. So, and it's I wouldn't use it for anything else, but for this kind of thing, for whipping, it's fine. And I found an old brush that was sitting in some old thinner, so I figure an old crappy brush, old crappy urethane, doesn't matter. This is going to do the trick. This is going to bond this together. It'll protect the cord, and it'll keep it from coming apart. So the cord's not going to rot. And if you want, you can, coat the whole stick with urethane to protect it. This is just a shop tool, and my other one, I didn't put anything on it, and it's over 30 years, it's fine. So I'm not going to bother, but I am going to do this because this will solidify, and it'll keep that whipping from coming apart. Unlike my old one here, it came apart. I'll have to fix that. So this is just to show you, I used mainly hand tools. The only power tool was my drill. Just put a hole in it. You don't even have to use a power drill for that. But this is all there is to it. And when that dries, I might put a second coat on. That's soaking in. I don't think I really need a second coat, but I have the material, so I might as well do it. And that's all there is to it, folks.